Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to be doing Koshinage, and not specifically showing you certain techniques, but more how to sort of get into Koshinage, particularly for the ukemi, the uke side. So we're going to show you kind of ways to develop your Koshinage, and also how to do it in a kind of a safe way so that you feel nice and stable when you're doing Koshinage. So stay tuned for the different kinds of exercises leading into how to do these hip throws.
So basically we are talking about two ways of doing the Koshinage, which we call, one of them we call the head in or the shift and lift, and the other one we would call the head out or the pop and drop and pop, actually, because of the way we do the projection. Koshinage is the highest of the high falls that we practice in Aikido, and it can be a bit hard for the body when you do this high falls all the time. So there is also an intermediate step that we use first to learn the projection and the behavior of the uke during this projection, during this technique. And also at the more advanced level, we don't throw the uke every time because we want to save our bodies. So we also use this intermediate version during the training if we want just to practice the precision of the entry and preparation rather than the throw itself. And then from time to time we do the full throw. So we'll show you the two variants, how the uke can react in these two variants, and what are the critical points. And also the intermediate step, which is actually just the load up on the hips without doing the full projection. So the first one, and we will do it from the ryotedori attack, because from ryotedori we can do both variants. So it's quite a nice one to start with. So one variant is actually the shift and lift or the head in. For this one I will grab the wrist of the uke, move one arm up, protect myself here from the knee and actually use it to go down directly. And as I get down here, I look at the uke, I shift a little bit back to make the uke lose the balance a little bit backwards. And as he's coming back, I will shift forward and then throw him normally on the other side. Okay, so this is one variant. And then the other variant is the head out, where I would actually first move out to the side, grab both wrists, and then I would do a little, just a very little, very compact iremiten kam, kind of, enter my hips here, drop down, and as the uke goes on my hips, pop up again to do the projection. So these are the two ways you can do Koshinage in most of the techniques from most of the attacks. Now for the uke, there is a difference between the two versions, because in one of them, in the head in or shift and lift, he can grab underneath the shoulder, underneath the arm to get a point of reference while he's being thrown, and also to slow down a little bit his fall down. In the other one, I'm holding both of his hands, so he cannot really do it. And in the head in, there's also one exception, which we will cover at the end of the video. Okay, so basically, let's start maybe now with a very simple one, with a katate dori. As I enter, I move down, stick my back towards the uke, and actually here the uke wants to prepare for the fall, and he can hold on to my arm here. So this will give him a kind of pivot point for the technique, a point of reference to know in which position he is while going over and falling to the ground. And he can also slow down the fall a little bit by holding on here. Okay, so this is an important point for the uke. It's really to, whenever you have this arm free and available, you grab and you kind of amortize and protect your throw during this. Now for the intermediate step for this technique, there is also what we call the load up without doing the full projection. So again, I'll start with katate dori this time. I enter, and I will only shift enough to get the uke on my lower back, where I don't feel his weight, so I can move around. It's not hurting my back. If he's too high on my back, I will be under a lot of pressure, so I will sense that it's not good. If he's too far down, he will fall down, or I will have difficulties holding him here. So actually I want to find the sweet spot, not too high, not too low, where I can hold him, carry him, and I can also use my hand here to hold on to his leg and protect him from moving over to the other side as I do it. Okay, so this is good for learning the technique, especially for the nage, and also for practicing the technique when we don't want the uke to fall down over and over again. For the nage, it's important to find the stability in this position before you move to the full projection, because in the full projection you need to support the uke, you need to control his fall, and in case he doesn't really go the right way, you have some possibility to adjust his position when he goes down on the tatami. So it's also the nage's responsibility to take care of the uke during this fall, during this technique. And you need to be stable if you want to control it, okay? So now the final one is with the projection with the fall. So when I don't stop, I don't control the leg. With the other hand, I don't stop, I just shift over and Durward will go into the fall. And actually I can hold on here, as you can see, I can hold my arm like this. So because Durward is holding onto my arm, he can control his position also, and he can slow down a little bit his fall. So this is why it's very important for me to be stable, because if I'm not stable, he will pull me over. So the difference for the other version of the Koshinage, the head out or the drop and pop, is that I'm holding on to both hands or both wrists of the uke, so he cannot really use my arm to amortize the throw, right? So actually here I'm holding on, I'm entering, but there is the same intermediate step where I can just load him up without actually throwing, right? And this way I can learn to put into place the right part of my back, not too low, not too high. Actually here I'm just maybe slightly a bit high. It's okay, still I can walk, I can hold on to him, I can hold him like this, it's okay. But I'm feeling a little bit of pressure already building up in my back, so it means that it was just very, very little too high on my back. So this is the way to practice it, okay? And then the next one is we go into the full projection. It's without shifting, I will just lower my position and then go up with the hips again. This is even a bit higher throw, I think, than the one before. And unfortunately for this one, the uke doesn't have any way to slow it down or to protect himself, so he just has to go over. I can actually control a little bit this arm here with my hand that is going more down. I can control a little bit his position, right? And it wasn't maybe a perfect throw. I wasn't that stable, as stable as I would like to be. Again, the same thing. You need to find the stability in the position when you do the projection so that you can somehow give a point of reference to the uke so that he can go down safely. And there is at least this one exception that I was talking about in the beginning of the video, in the head in or shift and lift version. It's actually when you do it from the Moratedori attack. So when you do it from kind of any other attack, I'm holding on like a mirror to the hand which I'm mirroring, right? So Katate Dori, Ryote Dori, Shihonage. It's the other one actually. No, Shihonage as well. So I'm switching to the left hand and it's again mirroring. So my left, Durward's right. So the hand which goes up is always the one like the mirror. For Morote Dori, it's not the, and then the other hand of the uke can be used as a hook on the arm to control the fall, the projection. On Morote Dori, it's not the case because as I do the Morote Dori, actually by the definition of this attack here, by the position we're in, I grab the opposite arm, so like right to right or left to left. And as I go in here, it's actually difficult now for Durward. He cannot use this arm to hold on. So as I go and load up and throw him over, he has to amortize with the other arm, but he cannot hook my arm to slow down the fall. So this is the exception. Let us know if you think of any other exceptions. Maybe we missed something when we were discussing this technique before the video. And thanks for watching. See you again soon in another video on our channel.